Hey, what's going on, everyone? Back at it again with another video. And this time I am doing a Superman actors tier list. And I figured this will be fun, after talking about the new Superman movie and, ranking the Superman movies. I think this is the next best step is to do a tier list of the Superman actors. Now, I'm not just doing the movie actors, but also the various actors who played Superman on TV. So, yeah, then, this is going to be a lot of coverage because there have been a lot of actors who played Superman in live action, like way more than Batman. And it's crazy how many actors have played him. But yeah, we actually have a lot to cover here. Like, if I'm counting correctly, we have like 13 or 14 actors, so that's a lot. But yeah, and I have all the categories set up. I have the GOATs. These are the greatest actors to play Superman. So they would go in this category. And then I have the good. These are actors who played Superman very good. Not to the quality of the goats, but they're still very good Superman actors. And then I have mid as fuck, which is basically the very mid actors. Like they weren't that great. I mean, they weren't terrible, but they just weren't that great. And then I have BS. These are the not so good Superman actors, just kind of BS. And then I have total BS. These are the actors that are just completely shitty, and we're not going to waste our time with them. So, anyway, with no further ado, let's get this tier list started. And first up, we have the Saturday Night Live Superman, played by Bill Murray, which, wow. I like Bill Murray. I like him as an actor, but as Superman, no, he's going in total BS. And it was total BS. Obviously it's a Saturday Night Live sketch, but still, no, it's just total BS. Um, yeah, like no, just no. Okay, next up we have Brandon Routh. You know, I think he's a very mid Superman, and yeah, he's going in mid as fuck because not only is he in the worst Superman movie, in my opinion, of course, but he's just very mid as Superman. He's not terrible, but he's boring. He is for sure boring as Superman. And he does redeem himself in the Crisis special, but even then I'm like he's still not that great. He's just honestly he's just very mid. And there's like not really any other word I can describe him, and it's just crazy because the only reason they cast him is because he strikes a striking resemblance to Reeve. So it's just like, yeah, I'm sorry. Brandon Ralph is just very mid as Superman. Again, he's not terrible. I can't even say he's bad. He's just very mid and, to be honest, very forgettable as Superman. So that's where he lands for me. Okay, next up is Christopher Reeve. Now, if you know me or if you know any Superman fan, like any true Superman fan, you know this guy's going into GOATs. And the top of the GOATs, because he is Superman. Like, when I think of Superman, I think of Christopher Reeve. Okay, he's the actor that really brought the character to life. So he's obviously going in the GOATs. That's really no debate. I mean, this guy is Superman. There's really no other actor that really captured that guy is Superman. Like, and especially with all the stuff he did in real life, I mean, he is Superman. So there's really no debate there. Um, but anyway, next up, we have David Cornsweet. And, I'm not saying this just because the movie just came out and, all the hype around the new movie and how great it is. But I think he's going in the GOATs as well. Because if you watch the movie, I mean, come on. Like, Superman literally saves a squirrel during a battle. I mean, that is Superman, and all the people that were arguing about that saying, oh, Superman wouldn't do that, then you don't know Superman because Superman would totally save that squirrel. So, yeah, David Cornsweet was great, especially the speech he gives to Lex Luthor. I mean, yeah, come on, that is a Superman speech. So, I'm not just saying this because of the hype of the movie and, how great I thought it was, but I think David Cornsweet is one of the GOATs. Um, and yeah, he's great as Superman. He was very great, so yeah, he has to be one of the GOATs. But all right, next up, we have the Superman musical actor, and he's going in total BS because what the hell was that? I've seen clips of that musical, and yeah, no, just no. So, that guy goes into total BS because what the hell was that? Like seriously, what in the hell was that? So yeah, he goes there. And next up, we have Dean Cain, who, to be honest, out of all the main live action Superman actors, you know, not counting these two clowns, like not counting you guys, but out of the main live action Superman actors, Dean Cain has to be the weakest. And I can't even call him mid. His acting wasn't that good. He doesn't have the look of Superman. So I might get some hate for this, but he's going in BS. Because that's just no. He and I wasn't even that big of a fan of Lois and Clark. Like, I've seen a few episodes, it's all right, but I couldn't get behind Dean Cain as Superman. He's just, I look at him and I'm sorry, that's not Superman. And also Dean Cain as a person, he's not really well liked, and especially like Family Guy, when Peter said, "Oh, that's like when Dean Cain wants someone to notice him." Like, that's what Dean Cain is kind of becoming. Like, dude, you were on a show in the 90s of Superman. Like, okay, you were on a show that, to be honest, wasn't really that big of a hit anyway. I mean, it might have been for the time, but nowadays, do you hear people talking about Lois and Clark? No. So yeah, Dean Cain's going in BS just because of his attitude nowadays, and especially some of the stuff he's saying about the new Superman movie, which I really don't get. So yeah, he goes there. Okay, next up we have George Reeves, who honestly kind of the same as Dean Cain in the fact that he doesn't really look like Superman, but for the time he was a big deal as Superman. So I'm putting him in mid as fuck. I'm just gonna move Brandon Routh here. Like I think he's a tad better than Brandon Routh. So George Reeves goes in mid as fuck. I've seen a couple episodes of the original Superman show. It's all right. I'm not saying George Reeves gives a terrible performance, but again, he doesn't really look the part. And also the fact that George Reeves, the actor, just didn't really want to be Superman kind of says a lot. I mean, like, dude, you're Superman. Like, come on. But, he just didn't want to really do Superman, you know. And also his death is like a huge mystery. Like, did he off himself, or did someone kill him? Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for him. He seemed like a very depressed guy, but like it's also like, dude, like you were Superman. Like, come on, have a better attitude. Um, but yeah, that's where George Reeves stands for me. But yeah, not terrible at all. Just very mid. Okay, next up we have one of the Superboy actors, and uh, I'm putting him in BS because I've seen a little bit of that Superboy show, and it's very dated, and I don't know, I couldn't get into it. Um, and also I should just get this over with. The other actor, I'll just put him right there too. Uh, it's just I don't know. It's just not something I'm into. Um, and also it's very like low budget. Like you can tell, like sometimes you see like the wires. Like I just wasn't really into it. Um, and also it's like I think it's still Clark Kent. So like I don't know. Like you could have still called it Superman, but what do I know? Um, but yeah, that's where those guys stand for me, the Superboy actors. Honestly, I don't even know why they're even on here. They're Superboy. I mean, I guess if it's Clark Kent, then okay, whatever. Okay, they're there for me, just not into them. BS. So yeah. Okay, next is Henry Cavill. Now, I know some people are very divided on Henry Cavill. Some people like him, some people don't. But I'm one of the people who really, really does like Henry Cavill. So I'm putting him in the GOATs. Yes, he is in the GOATs. Because what I like about Henry Cavill is that Snack Schneider tried to do something different with his Superman. Made him a little bit darker, and I actually like that. I like that Henry Cavill's Superman doesn't borrow from any of the previous Superman actors. So for that, yeah, he's one of the GOATs, and especially his performance in Man of Steel. So, yeah, he's for sure one of the GOATs. Um, and I just think they did him dirty. Like, if they have given Henry Cavill more movies as Superman, I think more people would have liked his Superman. But they didn't. But yeah, I love Henry Cavill's darker portrayal of Superman. I like it. It's different. And again, he didn't borrow from any previous Superman actor. He just did his own thing. So, yeah, he goes there. Okay, next up, we have Kirk Allen, who is the original actor to play Superman. And, honestly, not a bad first attempt. So I'm putting him in good because he looks the part. And honestly, from the clips I've seen of him as Superman, he doesn't play the part that bad. I mean, for a first attempt, I mean, he was good. He has the look. The suit didn't look bad for the first ever Superman suit. And yeah, I thought he played the part perfect. I mean, maybe, okay, not perfect, but for a first attempt, it was pretty good. So, yeah, he goes there. So, yeah. Okay, next up, we have Nicolas Cage as Superman. Even though he didn't actually play Superman, he was supposed to. Um, and yeah, this is his CGI image from The Flash. Um, but I'm putting Nicolas Cage in the good. Yeah. And a lot of you might be thinking, what why are you putting him in the good? We didn't even really see him as Superman. We saw him as a CGI image in The Flash. Yeah, but that was good enough for me. That was pretty. What the hell? Okay. Anyway, that was good enough for me though because that was badass when he was fighting the spider. And also he was robbed of playing Superman. When Tim Burton was trying to do that Superman movie in the 90s, it actually looked promising. He actually looked all right in the suit. He was going to do like a Death of Superman thing that unfortunately got canceled. But yeah, I think Nicolas Cage would have made a pretty good Superman. And it just sucks that that project never got off the ground. But from what we've seen of him in The Flash, even though it wasn't physically him, it was, CGI Nicolas Cage. That was awesome when he was fighting the spider. I mean, that was what he was supposed to do in the movie. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people might say, "What the hell? Like, why are you putting him in good?" Because I think he would have been good. So yeah, Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Cage Superman is going in the good. I'm sorry, he is. Okay, next up is Tom Welling, who Tom Welling. Okay, uh, where should I put Tom Welling? Should I put him in mid as fuck? Should I put him in? You know what? I'll put him in good because from the few episodes of Smallville I've seen, he is a very good Clark Kent, a young Clark Kent, learning. But my problem with Tom Welling as Superman is that, you know, kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's probably a common complaint, but we never saw him as Superman till the very end of Smallville when he's ripping the shirt and you see the S. Like, okay. And also it's Brandon Routh's Superman suit. But you know what? I don't know. I mean, I, I feel dirty even putting him in good because he wasn't really Superman. And in the CW Crisis special, you see Tom Welling and he said that he stopped being Superman. So it's like oh my God. I don't know. Like, I kind of just want to put him here, to be honest. Like, maybe right there. Or, I don't know. Right top. Maybe I'll put him at the top of mid as fuck. Because even though he was a good Clark Kent, he wasn't. We never seen him as Superman. Like Nicolas Cage, okay, you can argue we never seen Nicolas Cage as Superman, but he was going to be Superman. And, we saw him in The Flash as Superman. I don't know. I think Tom Welling deserves to be on mid as fuck because, he's a good actor. He was good as a young Clark Kent, but, like, I'm sorry, he was not Superman. So he goes there. Okay, last but certainly not least is Tyler Hoechlin. Now, Tyler Hoechlin plays Superman in the CW stuff, and he played Superman in his own show, Superman and Lois, and he's very good. Yeah, I'm putting him in the top of the good category. Because from what I've seen of him, from the few episodes of Superman and Lois I've seen, he's a pretty good Superman. He's actually a very good one. From what I've seen, like his acting's really good. He's a Superman that cares about the people a lot. Like he has all those values. So, yeah, like do I think that he is on the same level as the three main movie actors? No. But I think he's good enough to be on the top of the good category because he is a very good Superman. So, yeah, Hoechlin goes in the top of the good category. But yeah, that was my Superman actor tier list. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all can agree. Or if you don't agree, that's fine. But don't come down my throat saying, "Oh, you should have put this actor here or that actor here." Well, make your own damn tier list. But yeah, that was my Superman actors tier list. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.